Please don't forget subscribe and comment. I'm Lily Brooks. I work as a night shift office cleaner in one of the most prestigious buildings in downtown Chicago, Carter Enterprises. People don't notice people like me. I come in after everyone's gone home. I mop, wipe down desks, empty trash cans, and disappear before the sun rises. I've gotten used to being invisible. Until he started noticing me. Ethan Carter. CEO. Young. Powerful. Dangerous in a suit. The kind of man who could silence a boardroom with just one look. I'd only seen him from a distance at first, when I'd passed through the executive floor. I assumed he'd ignore me like everyone else. But he didn't. At first, it was just a glance. Then another. Then more. Every time I walked by, I could feel his eyes on me, not in a creepy way, but in a way that made my skin tingle. Like I was the only thing in the room that mattered. Like he could see past the uniform, the gloves, the mop, straight into me. He started staying late, even when there wasn't a reason. I'd be wiping the conference room table, and suddenly he'd appear in the doorway, leaning against the frame with that intense, unreadable look. "You always this focused?" he asked one night. I nodded, trying not to blush. "Clean floors don't clean themselves." He chuckled. "You take pride in what you do." I like that. Every night after that, we talked. Little things at first, weather, music, his meetings, my brother's college classes. Then deeper. He told me about his childhood, about losing his mom when he was young. I told him about working 2 jobs just to survive. He listened like no one ever had before. But more than words were exchanged. There was always this pull between us. When I'd bend to reach something, I'd feel the heat of his gaze. When our fingers accidentally touched over a coffee cup, I'd feel sparks shoot up my arm. He stood too close when we spoke. I didn't step away. I didn't want to. I'd catch him watching me as I swept the hallway, his eyes locked on my hips. He didn't try to hide it. And I didn't pretend not to notice. Then one night, everything changed. I was wiping down the large glass windows in the executive office when I heard the door click shut behind me. I turned, and there he was, Ethan, watching me again. "I can't stop thinking about you, Lily," he said. His voice was low, rough around the edges, like he'd been holding that in for too long. My heart raced. I put down the rag, unsure of what to say. "I see you every night," he continued, stepping closer. "And every night, I want to know more. Every move you make drives me insane." I swallowed hard. "I'm just a cleaner." He stopped right in front of me. "No. You're the only person who's made me feel something real in years." The silence between us was loud, thick with something dangerous and sweet. He didn't touch me. Not yet. He just stood there, waiting, his eyes asking a question I wasn't sure I was ready to answer. My hands trembled, but not from fear. From need. "You shouldn't be saying these things," I whispered. "I know," he said, inching even closer. "But I can't stop myself." His voice was like velvet and thunder, rolling through me, stirring everything I'd tried to keep locked away. Then, so slowly, he raised a hand and brushed a strand of hair from my face. That simple touch burned hotter than anything I'd ever felt. I closed my eyes. My breath hitched. When I opened them again, he was still watching me like I was the most precious secret in the world. But I had to protect myself. I stepped back. "If anyone finds out," I said. He gave me a crooked smile. "Let them." But we both knew it wasn't that easy. We kept it quiet. Our moments stolen, his fingers brushing against mine as I handed him a report I wasn't supposed to be delivering. Our eyes locking across the room as I mopped near his office. Whispered goodnights that meant so much more. The tension built day after day. Week after week. Then, one Friday night, after everyone was gone, I found a single red rose waiting for me on the cleaning cart with a note, "Meet me on the rooftop." I hesitated. My heart raced. But I went. The rooftop was bathed in moonlight, the city sparkling below us. He was already there, hands in his pockets, looking nervous. "I couldn't wait anymore," he said when he saw me. "I need to know if you feel this too." I didn't answer with words. I walked up to him, my hands shaking, and placed them on his chest. His heart was racing like mine. Then we kissed, slow, tender, hungry. Like we were both starved for something only the other could give. From that moment on, everything changed. We didn't talk about titles. We didn't talk about rules. We just existed in those stolen moments, his hand on my back as I passed by, a message on my phone that made me smile, a glance that said everything even in silence. But not everyone liked what was happening. Whispers started. Other employees looked at me differently. Someone even reported it to HR, claiming I was distracting the boss. I was called in for questioning. They hinted that I might be reassigned. Or fired. I was scared. I went to Ethan's office that night, ready to end it all before it got worse. I didn't want to lose my job, and I didn't want him to get dragged through a scandal. But before I could say a word, he pulled me into his arms. "I'm not letting them scare you away," he said fiercely. "They don't get to decide what I feel. Or who I fall for. Even if it costs you everything?" I asked, tears in my eyes. He nodded. "You're worth it." So we fought. Together. Ethan spoke to HR, the board, and made it clear I wasn't just some employee. I was someone he respected, admired, cared about deeply. And he wouldn't let the company ruin that. Eventually, the tension died down. People adjusted. Whispers faded. And we no longer had to hide. Now, when I walk into his office, I'm not just the cleaner anymore. I'm the woman who stole his heart. And every time he looks at me, I still feel it, that spark, that heat, that promise of something wild and beautiful between us. Something that started in silence but grew into everything I never knew I needed. Because sometimes, love finds you when you least expect it, even when you're just trying to clean up and make it through another shift. And sometimes, it changes your life forever.